Good morning. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm April Williams, and this is Daily Dose Live. Dynamic direction for a successful life. Your little espresso shot of wisdom to jumpstart your morning. And I have an especially potent espresso shot with me this morning, Sheranna Capelle.
Good morning.
Always fun, always fun. Sheranna is here to talk about her new book, Sabra. I'm so excited about it. This is her third book that she has written. And she's here to talk all about her new book, and she's going to tell us how to get it later in the show. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here, guys.
Yeah, so, okay, tell us about, first of all, it's a very unique read. If you haven't gotten this novel yet, you need to go on Amazon and get this book. It's a very unique book. I look at hundreds of books a week because I order books for the library. And I can truly say this is a unique read. So tell us more about the inspiration behind Sabra.
Unique in a good way?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, well, and I will say I knew that it was unique while I was writing it. I even said to my husband several times, I really don't think there's anything like this out there on the market. About Sabra. Well, this one is the first in what I'm hoping is going to be a trilogy. This one is titled The Lonely Mrs. Nobody, and it takes place in Greenwood, South Carolina, in the Mill Village, which is, the Mill Village is where my dad and both of my brothers were born, in Greenwood. They were actually born in the hospital, but she lived. It's based loosely on my the personality of my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, and who lived there in the Mill Village.
And there's so much information. You and I were talking about your book at my book launch, and we were talking about how I told you that to me it had so much historical information that your book to me reads like a historical novel.
It is. It's historical fiction. The dates are accurate. The details that are history were researched. It took me a long time to write this book because there was a lot of research involved in trying to get everything just right, because that's important.
Oh, yeah.
Even though the story is fiction, it is a historical fiction. It talks about a place and a time in American history and its effect on this woman in particular, Sabra. And it takes place actually in 1967. She was born in 1916, so she's 51 at the beginning of this book. And then the book flits back through her life and tells the stories that brought her into this moment that ironically is not what you would have expected her to be like because of her personality. But it has everything to do with the culture she lives in and how people have told her to be.
And that's one thing I do love about your book is Sabra is such a interesting and creative, before her time kind of person who lives in a community that does not really accept who she is. But in a way, it's almost a coming of age novel in the sense that by the end, she learns a lot of things along the journey, through the rejections, through the hurt. And when you get...
And some of the hurt is really huge. You get into the book
and you can relate to it.
Yeah.
Like I can relate. And a lot of people I know will relate to it because we've all been there where we have our differences, our purpose, our uniqueness, and maybe it's not accepted by others. And even though this is number one, and I can't wait for the second part of the trilogy, but by the end, you know, the character is so well developed that you really feel like you know her, and I really thought that was neat. So you were going to read an excerpt from Sabra where it does maybe talk about those feelings of not being accepted for who you are.
Yeah, I was obviously thinking about this show this morning, that I'm so excited that April is having me here. I must have behaved really well when I was on with Charlene before. Hey Charlene, I'm sure you're out there. I can't see the thing. She's probably watching. This poem was going through my mind. She is a little bit of a spoiler. She's a poet. She's also other things creatively. I'll let you find out in the book. But this was going through my mind, so maybe it's for somebody out there this morning, but I'm not going to read the whole thing, just a couple of little verses of it. If they knew how I feel, how I really, really feel, I'm sure they'd turn away at what would be revealed. No one wants to see the me inside of me. I'm sure of what they'd say before they'd turn to flee. As I sit here today, I'm pondering my ways, a sad and lonely ma'am put in my place by they. And that is, you were saying you felt like that's, a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, that we're not really accepted or don't feel like it's almost like, and I think too, we were talking earlier about how as you grow through the years, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, that, and I was telling somebody else this too, as you grow and learn yourself and learn about the difference that God puts on the inside of you, there are times where it's like when you're a kid, it's a same parallel. In the summertime when you put on your clothes from last summer, they don't fit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you get to a place where your clothes don't fit anymore.
Yeah.
And it's awkward.
Yeah.
And so, but as you grow, you learn to accept where you are and allow God to move you. And sometimes the people in your life that you were acquainted with before, whatever, as you grow and develop, they just don't accept you and they don't fit in. So it's interesting to think about how God takes you through learning who He's made you to be. And that's one thing I love about your book. You need to get this book.
It's a really good book.
Yeah. They can get it on Amazon.
You can get it on Amazon, and you will feel like you know this girl by the end of the book. I've had so many people contact me, and one person came to my house and came in the door and just put her arms around me. She said, "I love Sabra. I feel like I know her. I want to be her friend. I am her." And she's fun. She's funny. She's different. The cover tells some secrets about the book that you'll understand the cover as you read. Yeah, I'm excited to have this on the market. It was a labor that I feel honored to have had the opportunity to do.
And writing is a labor.
Writing is a labor, and until you do it. Don't be so quick to micromanage other people.
Mine's a little book, and it was a labor. So I can't imagine a longer.
I love this book.
I can't imagine a longer piece of. It is a labor, and it's cathartic because you're pouring all of who you are. Into a book. So you've got to get strong. And go to Amazon.
There's a description of heaven in here that I think you want to read too.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people talk to me about that.
There's a lot of really places in the book where you just kind of stop and just soak it in, because the book has poetry, the book has beautiful descriptions, so it's really a unique book. You need to go to Amazon and get this book, and while you're there,
it's an interesting personality. She's funny.
And pick up her 2 devotionals too. Those are on Amazon as well. So
that's right. Trust, to really untie strings totally, and hope, having ongoing positive expectation, that I co-wrote with Charlene Geisler.
If you know someone who loves to read, you need to get this book for that person for Christmas. It is the perfect Christmas gift.
Yeah.
And so we'll be dropping the direct link in your Amazon direct link. We'll be dropping that later in the comments. Either you or I can do it. So they can just click on that directly. That's just the easiest way to do it.
That is a good way to do it.
Click on it directly.
We'll put the link to each of our books.
Yes. Perfect Christmas gifts if you know people who love to read. And Daily Dose is also good for people who don't like to read that much, because it's just a quick devotional, almost like your morning memo with your 3 bullet points to get you focused for the day. So these are great opportunities, great things to get for Christmas. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, April.
Yes, I am so glad you came on. You got to get Sheranna's book.
You do. You really do. And you want to start now, because the second book will be out before you know it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for joining me. I'm April Williams, and that is Daily Dose.